The strangest cameos in animated movies you never noticed. If I told you that a dead Lion King watched over Hercules, or that a fish appeared in a movie 2 years before he was even born? Better yet, what if your favorite childhood movies have been hiding an entire interconnected universe right under your nose, and you've been watching it your entire life without realizing it? Think you know animated movies? Think again. While you were following the main story, crying at the emotional moments, and singing along to the catchy songs, animation studios were playing the longest game of hide-and-seek in cinema history. They've been embedding cameos, Easter eggs, and hidden references so sneaky that you could watch your favorite movie 100 times and still miss them. But here's where it gets interesting. These aren't just random Easter eggs thrown in for fun. Some of these cameos create bizarre timelines. So buckle up, because we're about to ruin your childhood or make it infinitely better. Let's dive into the strangest cameos in animated movies you never noticed. The dead lion wearing dead lion? Let's start with something that sounds like a creepypasta, but is 100% real. Scar from The Lion King appears in Hercules, but not in the way you'd think. Remember when Hercules is getting his portrait painted after becoming a celebrity hero? He's casually wearing a lion pelt over his shoulder, right? Well, take a closer look at that lion skin. Notice anything familiar about the face? The sinister expression? The distinctive scar? That's right, Hercules is literally wearing Scar's dead body as a fashion accessory. Now, here's the question that should be keeping you up at night. Does this mean The Lion King and Hercules exist in the same universe? Is Pride Rock somewhere in ancient Greece? Or did Disney animators just decide to make the darkest inside joke in animation history? Phil, Hercules' trainer, even says, "That's it. Next time I drive," during the scene. But we're too busy processing the fact that one of Disney's most iconic villains met his end as a cape. This isn't just a cameo, it's a trophy kill. It's Hercules flexing on us, and Scar, simultaneously. The animators knew exactly what they were doing. They animated the scar. They gave the pelt, Scar's distinctive facial features. This wasn't a generic lion skin. This was a targeted reference. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But if you think that's dark, just wait. Time-traveling Easter eggs, the paradox cameos. Here's where things get weird with the space-time continuum. Animation studios have been creating time paradoxes for years, and we just didn't notice. Nemo's impossible appearance in Monsters Incorporated. Picture this. It's 2001. Monsters Incorporated hits theaters. In one of the final scenes, Sully returns Boo to her room. The camera pans across her toys, and there sitting on a shelf is a clownfish toy. Not just any clownfish, Nemo, with his distinctive lucky fin and everything. But here's the problem. Finding Nemo wouldn't be released for another 2 years. Nemo didn't exist yet, at least not in our world. So how did Boo have a Nemo toy in 2001? Did Pixar accidentally create evidence of time travel? Is Boo a time traveler? Or, and hear me out, is Pixar telling us that all their movies exist in the same universe, and Nemo was always swimming around in that universe? We just hadn't seen his story yet? The implications are staggering. This single toy raises more questions than Lost's entire final season. Riley's glitch in the Matrix, turning red. Fast forward to Turning Red in 2022. Mei Lee is going about her day when she accidentally bumps into another student. The girl looks up, and if you've seen Inside Out, your brain should be screaming, "Wait, is that Riley?" It absolutely is. Riley Anderson, whose entire emotional landscape we explored in Inside Out, is just casually attending school in Toronto, apparently. But let's think about this. Inside Out takes place in San Francisco. So what's she doing in Mei Lee's school? Is this a different timeline? An alternate universe where Riley's family made different choices? Or did she somehow end up in Toronto, and her emotions just didn't think it was worth mentioning? And the most disturbing part? We're seeing Riley from the outside without access to her emotions. We have no idea what's going on in headquarters. Disney's interconnected universe. It's all connected. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy crash King Triton's party. Let's rewind to 1989, The Little Mermaid. King Triton makes his grand entrance to the concert, and the crowd of sea creatures parts for him. If you look carefully in that crowd, and I mean carefully, you can spot 3 very familiar silhouettes. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy. Underwater, at a royal concert, in mermaid form. This raises so many questions. Are they merpeople? Were they always merpeople? Is this a cameo? Or did Mickey and friends just decide to take an underwater vacation and happen to attend a royal concert? The Little Mermaid wasn't just giving us a cute Easter egg. It was establishing that the Disney universe is way bigger than we thought. Rapunzel and Flynn Rider at Elsa's coronation. In Frozen, when dignitaries arrive for Elsa's coronation, 2 very specific guests appear, Rapunzel and Flynn Rider from Tangled. They're there for about 3 seconds, but it's unmistakably them. Same character designs, same clothing, same everything. Rapunzel's even sporting her short brown hair from the end of Tangled, which means this takes place after her movie. What if Frozen and Tangled are happening in the same timeline? What if when Rapunzel was locked in her tower, Elsa was locked in her room down in Arendelle? What if they could have been friends? What if they could have helped each other with their isolation and powers? Mrs. Potts and Chip's Wild Vacation in Tarzan. Beauty and the Beast takes place in 18th century France. Tarzan takes place in late 19th century Africa. There is no logical reason these worlds should collide. And yet, during the chaotic trash in the camp sequence in Tarzan, when Turk and the gorillas are destroying the camp, you can clearly see Mrs. Potts and Chip among the items being tossed around. Or, and this is the most disturbing option, did the spell wear off, turn them back into regular dishes, and then someone just used them, shipped them to Africa, sold them? The tragic implications of this cameo are staggering. Mrs. Potts and Chip survived a beast's curse, returned to human form, and then ended up as camp equipment in the jungle. That's not a cameo. That's a documentary on the cruel fate of inanimate objects. Part 4. Pixar's obsessive attention to detail. The Pizza Planet truck, Pixar's ultimate Easter egg. If you want to understand how deep the rabbit hole goes, we need to talk about a 1978 gyoza truck that has defied time, space, and logic itself. The Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story appears in almost every Pixar movie, and I mean EVERY movie. Let me repeat that. In a movie about medieval Scotland, there's a wooden carving of a 1978 pickup truck. The animators went out of their way to make sure this truck transcended time itself. But here's where it gets interesting. The truck is missing from The Incredibles. For years, Pixar fans searched frame by frame, convinced it had to be there somewhere. It wasn't. The director, Brad Bird, later admitted they forgot to include it. But did they really forget? Or is The Incredibles set in a parallel universe where Pizza Planet never existed? Is this Pixar's way of telling us that The Incredibles exists outside the main Pixar timeline? The absence of the truck raises more questions than its presence ever did. A113, the code that haunts every Pixar film. If the Pizza Planet truck is Pixar's most obvious recurring element, A113 is its most obsessive. A113 is a classroom number at CalArts, the animation school where many Pixar creators studied, and they've hidden it in virtually every Pixar movie. It's the license plate on Andy's mom's car in Toy Story. It's the camera model in Up. It's the courtroom number in Toy Story 3. It's a code on the Axiom in WALL-E. It's literally everywhere. But why? Why are animation studios so obsessed with including their inside jokes and references? Because animation is hard. It takes years to make these films. Hundreds of artists pour their souls into every frame. And including these little details, these secret handshakes between the creators and the audience, is how they stay sane. It's how they remind themselves that they're making something magical. Every time you find an Easter egg, you're not just finding a hidden detail. You're connecting with the artists who spent years creating something beautiful. You're part of the joke now. The celebrity cameos that make no sense. Animation gives studios unlimited possibilities. They can create any character, any world, any scenario. So naturally, they use that power to insert real celebrities in the weirdest ways possible. Sigourney Weaver, as herself, sort of, in Finding Dory. Finding Dory takes place in an aquarium. Dory hears announcements over the PA system and starts believing the voice is a real person who can help her. The voice sounds authoritative, helpful, and trustworthy. The voice is Sigourney Weaver, playing herself. As a PA system, Dory literally swims around asking about Sigourney Weaver and wanting to find her, not realizing she's just a voice. It's meta. It's weird. And it's absolutely hilarious because Sigourney Weaver is voicing a character who is, essentially, Sigourney Weaver voicing announcements. The real question, in the Finding Nemo universe, is Sigourney Weaver a famous actress who was hired to voice Marine Life Institute announcements? Did the Fish universe version of Alien exist? Did Ripley fight xenomorphs while fish watched? The implications break the entire universe, and that's exactly why it's perfect. Stan Lee's surprise superhero dad, Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6's post-credits scene features one of the most wholesome cameos in animation history. Fred, the lovable slacker of the group, goes home and discovers a secret superhero lair. His dad emerges, revealed to be a retired superhero himself. His dad is Stan Lee. The godfather of Marvel Comics appears in a Disney Marvel animated film as a retired superhero, in a universe that's technically separate from the MCU. As Fred's dad, it's Stan Lee's only animated cameo where he plays an actual character with a role in the story, rather than just appearing as a background extra or one-off joke. And it's perfect because Big Hero 6 is a Marvel property, but it exists in its own bubble, which means Stan Lee could be anyone in this universe, and he chose to be a superhero dad. The scene is funny, touching, and completely unexpected, exactly like Stan Lee himself. The meta moments when animators honor themselves. The Incredibles features one of the most touching cameos in animation history, and most people completely missed it. When Mr. Incredible is escaping from Syndrome's Island in a car, he passes two elderly men who comment on his driving. They seem like random background characters, but they're not. Those two men are Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston, two of Disney's legendary 9 old men, the core animators who created some of Disney's most iconic films. They worked on Snow White, Pinocchio, Bambi, Cinderella, and basically every classic Disney film you've ever loved. Brad Bird, the director of The Incredibles, included them as a tribute. These men literally built the foundation of animation, and here they are, immortalized in a Pixar film, still criticizing the action around them like the masters they were. The best part? Frank and Ollie weren't just animated, they actually voiced their own characters. It was their only voice acting work, and they did it in their 90s. This wasn't a cameo for laughs or Easter egg hunters. This was Pixar saying thank you to the pioneers who made their careers possible. It's a love letter to animation history, hidden in plain sight. Jack Skellington's director cameo tour. Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas has appeared in more movies than some actual actors. Henry Selick, who directed The Nightmare Before Christmas, also directed James and the Giant Peach. He wanted to include his most famous character as a tribute, a director's signature, if you will. Jack appears underwater, still wearing his iconic pinstripe suit, commanding a crew of skeleton pirates. It's a blink and you miss it moment, but for fans of Nightmare Before Christmas, it's a delightful surprise. But it also raises questions. Is Jack Skellington immortal? Does Halloween Town exist in the same universe as James and the Giant Peach? Or was he already dead, and now he's double dead, and he's just captaining ghost ships for eternity? The more you think about Jack's appearances across multiple films, the more you realize he might be the most well-traveled character in animation. He's like the Forrest Gump of stop-motion animation, just showing up everywhere. The villain crossovers. When bad guys make surprise appearances, villains get some of the strangest cameos because animators love sneaking them into places they absolutely shouldn't be. Bomb Voyage busking in Paris, Ratatouille. Remember Bomb Voyage, the French mime supervillain from The Incredibles who shows up in the first 10 minutes and is never seen again? Well, he's back. Sort of. In Ratatouille, during the Paris street scenes, you can spot a mime juggling on a bridge over the Seine. If you look closely, it's wearing the same outfit as Bomb Voyage. Same mask, same beret, same style. So what happened? Did Mr. Incredible defeat him so thoroughly that he gave up supervillainy and became a street performer? Did he retire? Is he in witness protection? Or, and this is the disturbing option, is he still a villain and he's just biding his time, juggling on a bridge, waiting for the perfect moment to strike Paris again? That French mime supervillain from The Incredibles, and everyone else said yes. That's commitment to the bit. Sid's afterlife in Coco. Toy Story's Sid Phillips was a villain in the strictest sense, a kid who tortured toys for fun. He's arguably the most nightmare-inducing character in early Pixar history. And then, in Coco, he appears again, as a skeleton. In the Land of the Dead, there's a skeleton wearing the exact same skull t-shirt that Sid wore in Toy Story. Same design, same everything. Let's process this. Sid died. He's now in the Land of the Dead, and even in death, he's still wearing his signature skull shirt. Did Sid ever change? Did he grow up to be a better person? Or did he remain exactly the same, and now he's just a dead version of his childhood self? The dark comedy of seeing Sid in the Land of the Dead is that it confirms everyone's fate. We all end up as skeletons, even toy-torturing sociopaths. It's oddly comforting in a nihilistic way. The cameos that create plot holes. When Easter eggs break their own universe. Sometimes, a cameo is so weird that it creates more problems than it solves. Buzz Lightyear in Finding Nemo. In the dentist's office in Finding Nemo, you can spot a Buzz Lightyear toy on the floor. This makes sense. Kids go to the dentist. Kids have toys. Buzz Lightyear is a popular toy. Simple, right? Wrong. Because Buzz Lightyear is a toy. In the Toy Story universe, toys are alive. They have thoughts, feelings, and existential crises about their purpose. Which means that Buzz Lightyear toy in Finding Nemo is alive. He's aware. He's lying on that dentist's office floor, probably terrified, watching fish swim around in a tank, completely unable to move or communicate. Is he okay? Did the dentist's office clean him up and donate him? Is he still there, waiting for a kid to pick him up and give him purpose? The more you think about it, the more horrifying it becomes. Every Toy Story toy you see in other Pixar movies is secretly a living being, frozen in place, screaming internally. Pinocchio in Tangled. During the I've Got a Dream sequence in Tangled, Pinocchio appears hanging with the thugs and the snuggly duckling. Pinocchio, the living puppet, in medieval Europe, hundreds of years before Pinocchio's story takes place. Either Pinocchio is immortal, which is terrifying, or because animation is art, and art is full of secrets. Every cameo, every Easter egg, every hidden reference is a gift from the animators to the audience. It's their way of saying, we care about this world we created, we care about the details, and we care about you noticing them. These cameos make animated movies feel alive. They create interconnected universes, inside jokes, and fan theories that last for decades. They turn casual viewers into obsessive detectives, pausing frames and zooming in on backgrounds, trying to find every hidden detail. And when you finally spot one, when you realize that yes, that IS Nemo and Monsters, Incorporated, or that IS Scar and Hercules, you feel like you're part of something bigger. You're in on the secret. You're connected to millions of other fans who spotted the same thing and lost their minds. That's the magic of animation. It's not just about the story on screen. It's about the stories hidden between the frames, waiting to be discovered. So the next time you watch an animated movie, pay attention. Look at the backgrounds, study the crowds, check the license plates. Because somewhere in that film, an animator spent hours hiding something special just for you to find. The question is, will you notice it? Or will it remain one of the strangest cameos in animated movies you never noticed until now?